Well, that was educational. Where'd you come from?
I'm sneaky, sneaky. Sneaky, 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 sneaky.
Hey guys, it's been a while. It's been a long while, but some really good things have happened in the meantime. Obviously, some really good things in my personal life, my family life, but also some good things for the channel. So if you knew about my other channel, See Tyler Vision, you may have seen that there was a book trailer for Laini Taylor's sequel to Daughter of Smoke and Bone, Days of Blood and Starlight. And that book trailer actually won a contest that she put out, and it was featured in Entertainment Weekly Online. And good news, that video has now had over 10,000 views, and that's really exciting. The project was definitely a labor of love, and it took me a considerable amount of effort. When I watch that video now, there are definitely a lot of things that I would do differently knowing what I know now, but I am still really proud of it, and from an artistic standpoint, it was a really fun and creative project. So I thought I'd show you a little bit about what went into it. So obviously, the trailer is going to have some spoilers, so I recommend not watching the trailer to the second book until you've read the first book. So I thought that we'd start by watching the trailer together, and I'll go ahead and give you any of my thoughts.
Okay, so to be clear, the trailer itself spoils book 1, but not book 2. This behind-the-scenes video should not contain any spoilers for any of the books, but it depends on your spoiler sensitivity. Proceed with caution.
So first off, this friend who volunteered to be Karoo, this is my friend Jessica. We were hanging out and she had come over and everything, and we were talking, and I was like, so, I really like books. Do you like books? I like books. I'm making a video about a book, and there's a contest that I'm entering, making a book trailer. It's kind of like a movie trailer, but you know, it's for a book. And I said, and I really would like it if you would be in it. And Jessica is actually pretty shy, and so she said, oh, I don't know. And I said, well, I'll just get your hands. This is me being sneaky, sneaky. And I was like, I'll just get your hands. I just want a picture of someone putting necklaces together. It's just necklaces, yeah, necklaces. Necklaces. And she's like, oh, okay, I think I could do that. So over time, you know, I think Jessica became a little bit more comfortable. And so I have shots from behind and things like that, so there's a little bit more of the character. That wasn't the original intent, so I was so thankful that she was willing to be flexible and to allow more of herself to be in the video. Oh my goodness, okay. Oh my goodness. So, this is actually, this is a beach right here. This is a beach nearby, and as you can see, we had really nasty weather when we were filming this day, and all of this that you see down below on the sand, this is like this nasty red seaweed and just like muck. It was so gross, and it was so loaded with bugs, just like sand flies and all these little beetles and critters, and like, as you can see, she's not wearing shoes. Jessica's not wearing shoes. Like, Jessica is the hero of this trailer, really, because I'm just this like Peter Jackson-esque nutcase, you know, who's like, hey, yeah, go over here, take off your shoes and walk through this like nasty muck. And she didn't want to mess up her shoes, so we were trying to go on some of these like little outcropped rocks that were dispersed among all of this nasty beach muck, and my friend slipped and fell and just got it like all over her. And I mean, as soon as you like stepped into this stuff, all the bugs would just be like they would just skitter out from where you had stepped. Why don't I have more friends? So this shot of her going up the staircase was actually one of the first things that I had planned for this location. I loved the steps so much. This whole part of the book takes place in the desert. But I didn't have any locations that would work for that on hand. And so I just decided that having the ocean instead of the desert, while it was inaccurate to the book, I felt like it kept with the ambience. And the ambiance was simply that it was a very natural, rural location. And I felt like this definitely captured the mood that I wanted. And so I prioritized the mood over 100% accuracy. Okay, The Office. The Office. I had this set up. This took me so long to put together. So long. These are how the lovely candles start out. And then here's some post-production. Okay, things are starting to come together. Okay, things are starting to look pretty good. A lot of surfaces covered. I don't have husband's stuff covered, but I don't think we're going to be filming at that angle anyway. That's what it looks like with the lights on. It's a pretty big difference. A lot of these things are candle holders, like so this flower shaped thing that has some buffalo teeth in it, that's actually a flower candle holder. That was just from like Michael's. These beautiful glowing glass things that you see the bones in, those are just candle holders too. The design on her hands, this is actually the design that I had come up with. And as you can see, it's a lot more detailed and a lot prettier here than it ended up, probably because we filmed the scene in the room last. So the marker on her hands got kind of messed up when we were at the beach, with like the rain and the sea muck and, you know, falling down and things like that. So it didn't turn out as clean and as crisp as I had originally intended, but I think it's passable. At least you can tell what it is. But I liked the original better. Here, I'll start telling you a little bit about the teeth. So in this shot, we see some muskrat teeth. Yeah, I know. And I got these on Etsy. So these are muskrat. These are buffalo teeth. These ones are bleached. The white are bleached. I think they're stripped and bleached, actually. These ones are brown. I'm not sure if this is natural or if they add a little bit of color. I'm not totally sure. But yeah, so those are the buffalo teeth. And they're kind of like, they're just kind of cool. The tooth in the center is from my friend Rachel. Rachel sent me a good number of the teeth here. And this is actually a tooth from her dog. I know. So, her dog had to get this tooth pulled, and so she threw it in hydrogen peroxide along with a bunch of the other stuff you see here. So my friend Rachel actually went out in the woods and she found random bones and stuff. And so we have a mystery rodent. This is mystery rodent. Like, I don't even, not totally sure. She just threw everything in hydrogen peroxide until it was white as bone and sent it along. So this one's a duck, as you can see. So it's all real. Everything is real. All the teeth are real. On the table, you can also see some shark teeth. So there's a shark tooth. And this was also from Etsy. This is actually a fossilized shark tooth. And I had more of them, but a lot of them were like way small. I had a packet of maybe 20 or so, and I went to a white elephant party and somebody ended up with fossilized shark teeth. So there are also these wild boar teeth or wild pig teeth, and these are from the Philippines. I also got these on Etsy. This is a coyote jawbone. Isn't that beautiful? Look at all those teeth. Oh, these are my favorite teeth. Okay, so what she's holding over the candle here, I wanted it to get its day in the spotlight because these are black bear teeth. Let me show you. So the black bear teeth are also from Etsy. This was $10 for the 2 teeth, and I got them because they were just perfect specimens. They are so beautiful. I would like to do something with these. I think I might make earrings out of these, actually. I think they would make awesome earrings. So some of these pieces I found in Chinatown at the import store in Chinatown in Japan. So I wanted things that looked really different and mystical without appropriating any specifically religious or cultural icons. Because I didn't want to be disrespecting anything or using something that someone is going to recognize as precious to them. But I was still able to find a lot of things that were very non-specific, that were just really fun. And one of those pieces was this hand bowl that I just absolutely love. And there's actually a Thai restaurant down the street that has this at their checkout counter, and I just thought, oh, that's really funny. They have the same taste as me. As you can see, I have the craziest little spoon in the world here. This is another find from the same import store in Chinatown. This is a shell spoon. As soon as I saw that, I thought, well, that's really special. And the book doesn't mention any tools like this, but I thought that it would definitely help reinforce that fantasy aspect. Ooh, I have a lot of fun things in here. Another thing that I have is this, this beautiful mat. This was so gorgeous. A lot of these things I knew I would want to keep just for myself, for decorating around my home. I debated a lot on the color. I thought that red would look more rustic, but ultimately I chose the purple because I thought the purple had a stronger fantasy aspect. Purple just has that mood, you know? This is the office where I filmed, and as you can see, I have my own desk, and then my husband has a desk over here, and so I took over the whole thing in order to film this. It was set up, I think, for several weeks, and my husband was really patient with that. So it was kind of funny when I was buying teeth, and I was telling him about this, and I remember one day he was asking me kind of like, oh, how's your project going? And apparently I said, with this like sparkle in my eyes, the teeth are in the mail. So now this is a joke. Like every time I'm up to something creative, my husband will go, the teeth are in the mail, and I'll go, yeah, the teeth are in the mail, which means like I'm up to something. I'm putting something together. You don't understand it right now, but the product will be good. The product will make sense, even if the process doesn't. A lot of people have mentioned really liking the narration, and there is a story behind the narration. So all of the text I took from the narrative of Daughter, Smoke and Bone and Days of Blood and Starlight. I wanted the narration to be perfect because I felt like the whole thing is carried by how convincing the narration is. I recorded, didn't like it, recorded, didn't like it, recorded, didn't like it. I recorded this narration over and over and over and over for 6 hours. Just over and over and over again. I did it for 6 hours. A few incarnations before this one, when I was recording, I was bereft. Like I was just crying. I had like tears pouring down my face, and I could barely even say the words. And I was experimenting with how far I wanted to go with Karu's despair. There were versions of this where I was just like incoherent, where I was just like, I'm You couldn't understand a word that I said, so I was like, okay, that's a little bit too much and it's too dramatic, so I went too far and then I brought it back in and I was able to get this that I was very happy with, and I feel that the emotion really carried through, and so far that's been what a lot of people say they like the best about it. Really fun detail. So what this is a pocket sundial. Probably one of the cooler things that I own. You line up the compass with the north that's engraved in the bottom, and it works, of course, if it's sunny, and then wherever the shadow falls on the numbers is the time of the day. I actually already owned this. I am weird enough to have already owned a pocket sundial. So I originally had the idea that the feather would be on fire because Akiva's feathers are smoldering constantly, but they just burned. Like I would try to light them on fire and they would just go and just be gone. So we had to settle for just regular old feathers. It took me about 3 months actually of collecting and planning and putting the project together and writing the script, contacting Jessica, working out her schedule when she could do things because she has kids, and I had one kid at the time. Teeth, they all had to be shipped, and you know, items had to be bought. The costume pieces had to be bought. Everything took quite a while to put together, and I'm really happy with the result, and I'm happy to see that people are still enjoying it and that it is drawing people into the book series, which is really the whole point. If you haven't read the books yet, I highly recommend them. If you couldn't tell. It's pretty obvious. So thanks for joining me in this behind the scenes look and learning a little bit more about what went into the whole project. If you have any more questions about production, go ahead and just put it in the comment section and I'll answer your questions there. Okay, thanks. Bye.